In this video, I'm going to go over the categories and tags for blog posts. So categories are essentially a way to organize your blog topics or your blog posts into different topics or categories. And tags are really just more specific categories, I would say. So for example, in this example website, we have the following categories. We have exercise, health, and mindfulness. So these are the categories that we have that we can put each blog post into. You can create unlimited categories. There's no limit to how many you can create, but you don't want to create too much. You don't want to be too specific if there's just going to be one or two blog posts that's going to sit in that category. So the number of categories will also vary depending on how often you blog and how many blog posts you have. And tags, I would say that they're not really necessary unless you do a lot of blogging. So for example, let's say you have hundreds of posts on exercise, health, and mindfulness, etc. In this realm of in this industry. So if you have a category in exercise, then maybe you have tags with different types of exercises. Or, if we're talking about mindfulness, maybe another category could be meditation. And maybe you talk about different types of meditation. I would say the types of meditation or practices in mindfulness would be the tags. So, categories are a little more broad, tags are a little more specific. So in order to update or manage your categories and your tags is very easy. So let's go into a current blog post to just edit and look at that. The categories will be on the right here. You could see you can add a category here, or you can add a category by clicking categories here on the left. I'm going to open another tab where we just were. You can add a category here. So I was talking about meditation, so I'm going to go ahead and add it as a category. When you type in a name, I would just copy and paste exactly what you write into the slug, and the slug will be automatically created to be URL friendly. So I'm going to go ahead and add a new category. So that's one way to add a category. In the same way with tags, you can go in here and add tags the same way. And when you do it, just put in a name and a slug, the exact same. So I'm going to go back to the post here. This post, I went into it before I added that new category. But let me go ahead and refresh the page. And then you'll see that new category, meditation, popped right up. Okay, it's right here. So if you want to add a new category, you can actually also click add new category. That's one way of adding a category as well. So I'm not going to do that here, but you could do so very easily. I'm going to go ahead and just choose this category. You can choose multiple categories for each blog post if it makes sense, and then and then whenever someone searches for blog posts within that category, the blog post will come up. And so same thing with tags. You can add a tag here. Let's say, let's add a category as yoga. And then a tag may be, so see it added it here. I'm going to remove that. And then the tag, maybe it's a yoga pose. So we could come up, you can add a pose for, that goes under the yoga category. And so maybe one of these tags would be, mountain pose. So if you have a bunch of blog posts that mentions mountain pose, then you can tag it as that. Now you can do mountain pose as a category, but that would be, I think that it would be better to do it as a tag, especially if your category is already yoga. So if you have a category as yoga and mountain pose, that would be a little confusing, I would think. So I think this works better this way. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. And if we look at this blog post, let's look at this blog post. So depending on how your site is designed, it'll show the category in the page. And also, depending on how your site is designed, people can search by category. So, for example, I added you see I added that new category, yoga. It's here on as in the sidebar. So not all sites have this. If your site's set up to show the categories in the sidebar, then you would see it. And then if you click on it, it will only show the blog post within that category. And then you could do the same with the tags. So we don't have any tags here, but you can actually have it show up where if people click on it, they will only show posts that is tagged or categorized accordingly. And that is pretty much it in managing categories and tags.